That's how much water is dripping out of the flapper. Every 15-20 minutes, it's got to fill the tank back up that far. So that's a lot of water to be wasting. See there? It's got two little ears. There's holes there, and you just take that, and there's hooks down here, and you wedge it on there. And it's simple as doing that with the new one. You know, I'll show you, don't worry. I'm not going to go anywhere. Now, if there's a chain on here that's been adjusted, and I've got to undo that chain, and which is connected to the toilet handle assembly. So I've got to undo that so I can get it out. Now, sometimes that's kind of hard to pull off. You just have to kind of be careful with that. Because you don't, that's the last thing you want to break. Okay? It looks alright. I didn't break it. See? Yeah, this one's got a chain on it. And then you can adjust the chain onto the hook at the end of your tank, your toilet handle, flush handle. Okay? Now some handles are different than this, but you get the point. Okay, so I've got to get another one of these. Okay, there's a little sleeve here, and I had to grab that with a little screwdriver so I could pull this out. Yeah, that sleeve stays on here. And you see on the end of here, it's got this hook. And this hook is going to connect on the very end of the toilet handle. That toilet handle had a notch on it. Well, let me get you closer to that. Let's go over that a little bit. Might be kind of hard to see that, but there's a notch on the side of it here. One notch there and one notch over here. And with that initial chain one, that it gets hooked into there. But then at the very end, right here, there's a hole at the very end of this. And that is for the new chain that I have. With this hook here, I'm going to hook that over that hole rather than use the other little slot on there and adjust it and hook it up that way. Now see that hook? That's at the end of the hook. Now this other side where the chain's hooked onto now, if this chain is too long, okay, you can undo it off of there, and then you can move this chain wherever you want, and then you can hook it back on that smaller hook. Okay, then you can make it shorter and whatever. Then what I'll probably end up doing is taking some of these links off with a pair of pliers. And then remember there's this plastic sleeve? I can take that plastic sleeve and slide it up there after I hook this other piece. Slide it up and kind of pinch it together and push it up over the plastic. That little plastic sleeve, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to do for that. It's kind of tricky to get in there. You know, try it, and if the sleeve doesn't really work, you don't have to really use the sleeve. That's just how this one works here, okay? So let's put that on, see how it comes out. Put this new one down in there. Got the same hooks. I'm just hooking it on there. Okay, the flapper is all hooked up down at the bottom. Now I've got this chain. I'm going to hook that on just the end over here. And see, it's way too long. So I'm going to have to shorten it up. So I can just undo the end of it. The end of where the chain hooked onto the hook. I don't have to keep taking the hook off. You see how that hook kind of swivels on there? I'm going to keep that part on. And so I'm going to go up, you know, 3 or 4 little links here and hook that back on the chain. Hook the chain back on the hook there. And that's still way too long. And adjust it some more here. This part is like trial and error. You're just going to have to do it a few times. Now see, it's lifting that up, but I think this could be lifted up higher. And there's an important reason why it needs to be lifted up higher. Do you know why? I've adjusted the chain some more, made it shorter. See how much higher it goes up now? So when you flush it, it goes up that high. Now I can't go up much higher than that because this handle is so much at an angle. No matter what happens, I can't go any higher. Sometimes these handles are over this way further to where this will flip up even higher. But this particular handle doesn't do that. It's kind of going away at an angle. There's only so high you can make that. You know what I mean? I guess I'm going to reach down there and turn that water back on. I'm going to fill this up and flush it a couple times and see what happens. I really like the water fill valve that I installed previous because it really fills this tank up way faster than the other fill valve I had. Tell me, when is the last time your tank filled up that quick? Everything looks good. I'm listening down there. And I'm not hearing anything. I think that rubber flapper is working fine now. I wanted to show you something. Here's another flapper. I'm not using this one, but I got a 5-pack. This was a 5-pack. And I replaced a couple of these from before on some other toilets. So I thought, you know what, I'll get a 5-pack because, you know, at the store I was looking at these individual and they were like $4 or $5 and a 5-pack was $7 or $8. It just didn't make sense. So I went ahead and got the 5-pack, and you know, if I don't use these for right now, I can save them for the next toilet, or if somebody needs me to help them, I can give them a little flapper for their toilet. You know? So look around when you're at the hardware store. Sometimes it might be cheaper to buy 5 than it is to buy 2. Now, is this the only type of flapper they have at the store? No. They got 4 or 5 different types. And so you just have to kind of pick and choose. Some are thicker than others, and some are fashioned differently. So my suggestion would be, if you think you've got to get a new flapper for your toilet, take your old one to the hardware store, because you might be glad you did. There might be something on the end that's different than what you see here, or it's wider, or it's taller, or, you know, all kinds of different things. So it's better to be safe than sorry. No, I'm glad that little project's over with. It didn't really take very long to fix this too. If you're doing yourself a favor by saving that water, not wasting all that water going right down the drain. You know? That's something I know you can fix yourself. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it. I can mark that one off my list. Thanks for joining me. Gotta go for now, but I'll be back with more videos.